What's going on, guys? Welcome back to part 2 of the drop. If you guys seen my first video, we removed the upper and lower control arms. In today's video, what I end up doing is buying 2 upper control arms because the ones I took off were real rotted out and I didn't want to deal with that, so I ended up buying 2 brand new upper control arms. I did keep the 2 bottom ones, which are going to be grinded down to bare metal, and after that we're going to get painted, make it look nice, and install ball joints and urethane bushings. But that being said, let's get this rolling and enjoy the video. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. So let's get it. Alright guys, so I decided to order 2 brand new upper control arms. The reason I'm doing that is because this is the passenger side upper control arm. You can see that. That's a big old rust hole. So all this is bad, even down here. You can see it from the back. The driver's side wasn't that bad, but it did have a rust hole in it, even though I did grind it all the way down to the bare metal. But I just decided to change my mind, just put brand new ones. The new ones comes with brand new bushings and a ball joint. So that's going to be a couple of days before I even get them. Meanwhile, I'm going to go underneath the truck and clean up the area where I'm going to put the brand new upper control arms. Alright guys, before I start cleaning this, I'm going to take these shims off, make sure I keep them together so I don't mix them up, because you don't want to mess up your alignment. So I'm going to get started, take the shims off, probably tape them up so I don't get them confused, put left and rights on right. So alright guys, so finally 4 days later I got the upper control arms. Alright, so I finally got those A-arms, the upper A-arms. So now the support right here, I'm gonna try to get all the grease all the way to the back, all this area, so I can get it painted. I got some, I think I said it already, I got the chassis saver, which I'm gonna paint all this. And then once it's all painted, I put my shims back in here. Get my A-arm. There we go. So that brand new bottom, I gotta grind and paint it and put new bushings. All this will be painted and it's gonna look nice. And then I can finish the lowering kit for the front. Looking good, man. It's gonna look good. Alright guys, so I ran the wire brush just to go over it, get the little surface rust off. I even did that side of the cab. So now I'm gonna let it dry because I cleaned it with a brake cleaner. Now I'm gonna go to the passenger side and do the same thing. And then once it dries out, I'll start painting. Alright guys, now that it's dried, I'm gonna start painting. I'm gonna show you what I'm using. There you go. It's a chassis saver. It's high gloss. And all you need is a brush it on there. I'm gonna do 2 coats of it and that should be good enough. So let's get started. Alright guys, so that's the first coat. Looks real good. I'll do a second one. I'm not gonna record that one, but I'm gonna do a second one, and that'll be it. And then I'll let that dry, and when I get the rest of my other parts in, the bushings, then I'll start installing. Driver's side is done with the first coat. I even did the bed too, a little bit on the bed, just to get it on there. But looks good. Like I said, I'm not gonna record the second coat. It'll be the same process. I'll just let it dry. I'll probably let it dry for a whole day and then do the other coat the next day, tomorrow. Alright guys, so I started grinding the lower control arms. I'm still waiting on my parts. I'm waiting for my ball joints and my bushings. So meanwhile, I'm gonna get these all grinded down to metal as much as I can. Clean them out, make sure there's no grease, and then get them painted, let them dry till I get my parts. Then I'll start installing everything. Alright guys, just got done with both lower control arms. I grinded off as much surface rust as I could, and now I'm gonna start put some engine degreaser and a scrub pad and scrub all over and make sure I get all the grease off. Alright guys, so I'm gonna let these dry, and after they're dry I'm gonna spray some brake cleaner and wipe them off one more time just to make sure there's no grease, no oils on it, and then I'm gonna start painting it. So today I'm going to be installing my lower control arm bushings and ball joint, which I got already in the mail. I got them through eBay, and I'll link those in the description down below. This is my other bushings. And these are called you can see they're urethane bushings. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to smooth out inside here, make sure it's nice and smooth. Same thing over here on both sides. Obviously I'm going to do that on both lower control arms. And start installing the bushings. Alright, so it's nice and smooth. Got my bushings right here, the sleeve. This sleeve is going to slide right in here, this shaft. You got to put some grease in here. I got some grease for that. And for the bushings, it comes with this, you see right there, you can see it. That grease comes with the bushings. You can put some around the outside and the inside. So I got this side in. Now for this side, I'm gonna have to get like a something that can go around this rubber part right here, so I can push it in some more. Make sure I don't hit these threads. So I can get it enough in so I can put the washer and the nut on it, and then I can tighten it up just a little bit. Because when you install it in your truck, this hose right here has let me see if I can see it on the truck. This right here, that right there goes inside those little holes on the control arms. So you got two of them, one on each side. Those gotta line up here, so that's why I'm not gonna tighten them up. I'll tighten them up when I install it, and then make sure they fall in place, and then I can tighten up the seat clamps, and that should be good with that. Alright, so I got a ball joint kit, and I found that this will probably work with it. So as long as it goes around it, it doesn't hit the threads, it should be good, enough clearance. I just needed to go in enough so I can put the washer and the nut, and then start tightening it up. Let me get started with this. So you can still move it, but it's a little tight. I'm just gonna tighten them up, close this gaps up, and then loosen it back up. Nice and tight now, but this is not going to be lined up, so see, I can't even move it anymore. So I'm gonna loosen these up for now. I just tighten it up so that way these bushings I can get them as close as I can to the air. So alright, so I'm gonna start putting the ball joint in. Took me a while to figure out which fittings to use. I'm hoping this is the right way. We'll see what happens. Gotta make sure we push that all the way in flush. So I just got done installing that ball joint. It did give me a lot of trouble because I couldn't find the right fittings to make it go in, because every time it was going in sideways. So I had to hit it with the mallet to get it out, and then I figured out which fitting to use, which helped it a lot with that angle that when it was going in an angle. So if you guys have a ball joint kit, there's this big one that has this cutoff on the side. This cutoff side, put this on the opposite side of where it's not going in, so it'll push it up like that, upwards. That's the way I figured it out, or else it kept going, the ball joint kept going in at an angle. So I used this one. So this cut right here, make sure it goes not on the side that's not going in, but on the opposite side. So yeah, and I ended up putting a touch-up paint. So I did scratch it here and there, but I put some touch-up paint, so I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna start with the other one, and I'll put the other one in time lapse. Alright, I'm gonna start installing the lower control arm, and I'm gonna tighten these up at the end, because I need this to move around when I install it, so I can line it up. I think I showed you guys before. Right here, those holes gotta go in there so it doesn't move. And also, when you put those seat clamps underneath to hold the control arm, this one goes on your right side, and then this one, you see how they look different. This one has this one's longer on this side, so this one goes on your left, facing the passenger side, so you don't get them mixed up.
Now we gotta make sure we lined up that hole in there, both sides.
Alright guys, this is the end of this video. I appreciate everybody that's watching my videos. It helps out a lot. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for part 3. See you in the next one.